Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're gonna solve longest consecutive sequence. This problem that we're gonna solve. So we are given an unsorted array of integers and we want to return the length of the longest consecutive element sequence. We must try the algorithm that run in of n time. We are given some example here where we have 104, 200, 132, and the output is 4. Why? Because the longest consecutive element sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so this is just an explanation where the consecutive element here, we mean the difference between the next element is 1. So the difference is just 1, no, not more than that. That's basically for the consecutive, and we want to find the longest consecutive sequence. Alright, so now let's begin. I have made a PowerPoint so we can view the problem in greater picture. We have the input, the output is just the same. Let's start by the input. Let's try solve it in approach. Remember, we need to solve it in big O n of time. So we can't really sort it because sorting algorithm usually comes in n log n. So that wouldn't really solve our problem with the limitation that we need to write to run the algorithm in O of n time. Alright, so now this is the input which we have. Let's see it in a way where we can think of it in a sorted way. So now this is a sorted input, and we're not gonna solve it using this approach. We're just sorting it for easier explanation for us. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We know by looking that there is this number of 4 numbers that are consecutive, and then it jumps right up to 100, then it jumps up again to 200. So we have like now the longest consecutive sequence is this first 4 numbers. Alright, so that's really in solving the problem in a sorted way, but unfortunately it's not sorted. So we need to somehow be creative with our algorithm. So we need to somehow use the data in a single iteration or multiple iterations, but not I'm not sure, like not loop inside the loop. You can have multiple loops separately or a single loop, but basically that's the limitation of the problem, and that gives us some hint that we might need to use some data structure. So just by looking to this problem, we need to find an iteration. Let's iterate through all those elements and add it in data structure. Let's say a radius. We have 104, 200, 132. Now we have added all those in our new array list, which we have done just created. Now, what do we want in order to find the longest consecutive sequence? We have an array of the same size as this, and it will add it in that range. So we could potentially think of it. We need a starting point. What is that? Let's say we have 4. We want to find the number that greater than 4 by 1 or smaller than 4 by 1. But that doesn't give us a starting point, because if we have those two options, then you wouldn't really know which direction you would take. So we need to get to a starting point or an ending point to solve this problem. So let's say we're at 4. Do we have a 5? No. That means we're at the ending point. So we can go backward. Let's say do we have 3? Indeed we have. Do we have 2? Indeed we have. Do we have 1? Indeed we have. Now, do we have any numbers that less than 1, like 0? No. That means we're done with this calculation or the number of sequence that we have here. So that's probably how can we solve this problem. So now we have an indication to a solution here. Now, given this approach, we want to find the starting point for this number. I have sorted it in terms of ranges. We have the starting negative and last greatest number is infinity, and we're with them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 400 and 200, and we want to find the starting point or ending point of this approach. So the solution here is either we go to the end point where we don't find a next element, or we go to the beginning point and we don't find an element just less than the starting point by 1. So we either don't find 0 and we start by 1, or we don't find 5 and we begin at 4 and decrement until we reach to the point where there is no element that is different, that the difference has less greater than 1. So basically you jump more than one value. So this is how we can solve the problem conceptually. Next, we're gonna write the code to solve this problem.